What's going on, everyone? This is your guy, Demetrius Tollfree, excited to let you all know I'm finally ready to launch my own weekly podcast. You guessed it, DTO Live. Each episode, we will have a sit-down conversation about what's going on in our local community and beyond. But for right now, go and subscribe to my brand new YouTube channel. Simply search DTollfree at DTOLEFREE. I'm so excited, and I can't wait for you to join me live exclusively on Facebook and YouTube for my brand new podcast. Y'all already know what it is. Yes, sir, Doc.
In the days of the movement, we had more black businesses, but we were confined to our little neighborhoods.
Right.
You don't want to just be in your own neighborhoods. You want to be able to collect and have customers and clientele from other communities and bring some of that back into your community.
Absolutely.
And so it opened the door for that.
You make me want to shout. You make me want to shout, because so many times we are fed the line that the money must stay in our community, but it won't grow if it stays in our community.
It definitely won't grow if we're not placed in other communities.
Yes.
I mean, we're here in Atlanta right now,
yes, right?
We have many black businesses that are in Buckhead.
Right.
Which has been a predominantly white community in Atlanta. We have some in Alpharetta.
Right.
The place in Forsyth County where even in the 80s, we had to leave before dark. It was sundown time. My mother and them combined forces with what happened to Hosea Williams being attacked by white supremacists, and they marched on Forsyth County. From that march, Oprah did her show, and then from that, there was a racial commission established, and now black people live in Forsyth County. They have businesses in Forsyth County.
Yeah.
That's what the movement for justice and freedom represented and continues to represent if we align with it.
And it also represents the equity of influence.
Hey, beautiful people. Hope everybody's well, having a great day. Happy Monday. And welcome to Freedom Radio Music Monday. Also, happy Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Day. So I'm so excited. I hope that everyone is enjoying their day and you've done something today. You've done something today to add to the celebration, the life of Dr. Martin Luther King. Did you watch the movie? Did you watch his speech today? As my mom would say, she always encouraged me did you watch Dr. Martin Luther King's speech today? Did you watch his speech today? Today I watched Selma. I've been watching a lot of footage of Dr. Martin Luther King. And listen, we shouldn't just do it on that one day, right? It's like waiting. It's like when your favorite artist unfortunately passes, and then all of a sudden you want to listen to all their music. We should be doing this all year long. This should be the course of life. So I encourage that you just not wait until his day, until Martin Luther King Day, to educate yourself, to learn, to grow into knowing these pieces of information, of knowledge, of history. It's really important. But today there was an amazing commemorative service in Atlanta, Georgia, at Ebenezer Baptist Church in Atlanta, Georgia. It was really amazing. Shout out to our legends, Dr. I'm sure she's a doctor in some type of way, but Pastor Shirley Caesar and Tremaine Hawkins sang at the event. It was amazing, actually. I did not know. I follow Shirley Caesar, of course, but she's actually 87 years old. And I thought, wow, this is such an incredible moment. And then in addition to Tremaine Hawkins was there, shout out to Bishop William Murphy. He was there. So it was like just an amazing event. It's always full of, let's say, variety. There are people from different faiths that speak and people from this. And so it was just amazing. I encourage you to go back and watch it. You can find it on Ebenezer ATL. if you go on YouTube. But I encourage you to do something else today to learn and grow. And I was today, the clip you just saw was from Bishop T.D. Jakes' new podcast. It is called Next in NXT chapter, and it's really, really good, right? And so it's not Sunday morning. He's not going to. This is a Christian radio, so I can say it like this: he's not Sunday morning. He's not going to break out. He's not breaking out the Bible. I mean, he may, in some way or another, but he's not breaking out the Bible. He's not, he's not. There's no praise breaks. No puns. Our next guest. There's no praise breaks. There's any of that. Okay, he's having just straightforward conversations. He's already had a conversation with Tyrese, Cam Newton, and today, where they premiered the conversation that today came with Bernice King, which I watched, and it was just so phenomenal. And this is my last thought regarding this. Unfortunately, my mother passed away November 2023. And so when you lose a parent, life just shifts for you, no matter how you toss it. And I have a different view of Bernice King now, because for years we just looked at her like, she's Martin Luther King's daughter, and what a honor that is in itself. But now I just kind of see like, wow, she was sitting in this service for hours on end, and there are moments when I watched her and she looked like she was looking in the distance. And I'm sure there's a lot on her at that moment because there's so many things happening in this service, right? But I thought how she must miss her dad. And while all of us act out and we put Martin Luther King on very unnecessary things sometimes, I just always think, that was his daughter and that was her father. And so, just encourage you to be kind, because losing a parent, and especially the way she lost him, and she was quite young when he passed, it just changes your life. So all to say, please, I'm always going to encourage people, support other entities. Please go back and watch Bishop T.D. Jakes' next chapter. It's several episodes now. It's growing, and it's just really amazing. All right. So welcome to Freedom Radio and our Music Monday. I wanted to do these conversations, speaking to T.D. Jakes, because I felt like there was so many conversations that are not had, and there's a lot of things that happen in the music industry, but unfortunately, a lot of times people make a lot of mistakes, they make a lot of errors, and they just don't have the information sometimes, right? Not always, but a lot of the time. What comes to mind is TLC and how, in the 1900s, that means in the 90s, they lost millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars. Be still. They lost millions and millions of dollars because they didn't understand the contracts. They didn't know that, the label, really you're borrowing from the label. That's not really what we're going to talk about tonight, but you're borrowing from the label. And when you go out on tour and things like that, you're paying the label back. And so now I want to have these conversations. As I was actually watching TD Jakes, I really figured these are the kind of conversations I want to have so that artists can understand, because the game is totally shifted. So part of that conversation is talking about promotion and the lack thereof and information. So I reached out to a friend. Most of us know him. I hope you know him. His name is Marquis Jelks, and I'm gonna let him introduce himself. But I originally found him because he had a church called Praise Break. So I want him to talk about what happened was Praise Break page, but he had a page called Praise Breaks, and so this is what he doesn't know. So probably between the time I got out of church, probably well into the afternoon or so, I'm probably like a lot of people, I would go onto his page and I would just watch praise breaks from all over the country. And he supports everybody. And I was just like, this is so cool. So I wanted to have a conversation with him because he promotes crazy amount of events all over the country. He's friends with everybody, although he may not tell you who all his friends are, but he's friends with everybody, and I thought it'd be a great conversation to have. Okay, so I'm gonna add into the conversation. Hi, Marquis.
What's up, Yolanda? How are you doing?
Hey,
And
I'm
all of
good. I'm
the
good.
listeners and followers that are on, I'm excited to be here tonight. I like good, wholesome conversation. And I know this is going to be good. It's going to be intriguing. It's going to be just the right amount of fun, just the right amount of informative. It's not going
Yeah.
to be messy,
No.
So I
No.
enjoy this. I love conversations with people like you. And you all, let me just take over real quick. She talks about me supporting everybody. No, she has me beat. She supports everybody. Yolanda supports everybody, whether it be within church, you could be selling plates, you could be doing hair, you could be selling socks.
Yeah.
Yolanda supports you. So yeah, I wanted to definitely come back with that.
Oh, I appreciate that. Listen, I believe the Bible, right? And I believe that you treat people the way you want to be treated, right? I won't quote a lot of, this is not Sunday morning, but the Bible does say treat your neighbor as yourself, right? And I'm working on better treatment of myself. And I believe that you give what you want to receive. I can't ask you to
Hmm.
support my future album if I
Mm.
never support yours.
That's true.
That's just,
Okay, that's true.
and the great thing about social media, hopefully, hey, powers that be, please do not add any bills to us. But
Mm-hmm.
social media is free.
Mm-hmm.
It
Mm-hmm.
takes 10
Mm-hmm.
seconds to see,
Like to
to
share,
share. It takes 10
to
seconds to see
comment.
Dr.
Mm-hmm.
Cole's live recording and Dr.
Mm-hmm.
Dorinda Clark Cole, and
Mm-hmm.
to see her live recording and to hit share. That doesn't take
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
anything from you. Like it takes,
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to
Mm-hmm.
go too far too fast. It takes nothing from you when you see X, Y, and Z person. And it's the truth. A lot of times I didn't always know the people. I didn't always
Mm-hmm.
have relationship with them. I
Mm-hmm.
just saw, oh, this is nice. And I shared it. It
Well,
take,
that right there is how a lot of relationships happen. I don't think people realize that sometimes, people are only wanting to be friends or only wanting to work and connect with people who have quote unquote already made it or already have a name.
yeah, yeah,
And a lot of times the people that I'm friends with that are, as I say, jamming today and very popular, those are people who we met 10 and 15 years ago before they were, not as popular. They didn't have any number ones. It was just that we were just genuinely nice to each other, genuinely kind to each other. And Javante Patton, someone that people know and they know a lot of his songs that have hit number one. We were talking the other day. We didn't just meet each other because of social media, and there's nothing wrong with that. A lot of great relationships happen because of social media. But we met when we were literally like, well, I'm a little older than him, but when he was in his late teens and I was in my early 20s, and we both had choirs, and we were in Milwaukee at a conference, or we would go to the conventions, and we were just, hey, I enjoyed you. My name is, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't about how many followers you have or you got this going on. And I heard that it was just, hey, my name is, how are you? Let's stay in contact and build a genuine relationship and a genuine friendship. And I think a lot of that is missing. You know what I'm saying? And if
absolutely.
we would just be kind and caring and loving and genuine with one another, you never know who may turn into who. You looking at Yolanda right
Absolutely.
now, we on live, but next year she could be nominated for an Emmy. She could be nominated for a Grammy. You don't know where life will take you or what will shift in your life. So it's just nice to be nice. What's that saying? It's nice to be important, but it's more important to be nice. Being nice and being kind, it goes a long way, and people will remember that. It'll come in handy when you ain't got no money, when you
Yes.
need a favor, when
Yes.
you need somebody to do this. They'll remember how you treated them. So that's
Yes.
very important. Making
Yes.
genuine friendships and relationships and connections.
Yes. And can I go back to
Hmm.
what you said about
Hmm.
not doing it to gain something, right?
Hmm.
Not doing it
Hmm.
because you have
Hmm.
you have a ending play. I'm
Hmm.
not a football girl, but you're not doing it because you trying to make the goal, right? You're
Hmm.
just doing it because like it's just nice to be nice. It doesn't cost you anything. It costs you nothing to be kind, right? And I always say I grew up with a country mama, and somebody would give you something. My mama say, "What do you say?" You say thank you. So
Thank
it
you.
doesn't cost you
Hmm. Hmm.
anything to say thank you to someone, to be nice to someone.
Hmm.
But I think
Hmm.
some of us, in some ways, some of us had some pretty tough experiences, and so sometimes
Hmm.
you don't know, right? But I
Hmm.
encourage us to heal those parts so we don't assume that someone's trying to take advantage of you.
Take
And
advantage of
you know what I
you.
mean? And I'm
Hmm.
learning to better balance my kindness. Because I can be overly kind, just because that's really a real trait, a real characteristic I have. And so I have to balance my kindness. It's okay for me to say no to you, but still be kind. It's okay for you to say no payment due up front, but still be kind. And
And the
things
thing,
like that.
and the thing about that, when you're a overly kind person, overly nice person, and I'm pretty sure you're a person I know from working with you personally. And I had to learn this. There's some people that just are natural people persons, and we're just naturally
Right.
friendly or what have you. But what I've learned is because of the kindness that we give and how we're friendly and overly kind sometimes, um, that could be taken advantage of. So, and it's not necessarily taken advantage of. Sometimes we kind of overextend ourselves because of that.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So it's not even necessarily always everybody else's fault. Well, one thing I've learned now as I've tightened up things with how I do business and things, nobody can make me feel bad if I say payment up front. Nobody can make me feel bad if I say
Absolutely.
this is a fee, because we know how much we give for free. We know how much we do.
Absolutely.
So if I'm putting my foot down and this is what I say or this is what I want, you can't make me feel bad because I know what I give. And then also, another point that you were making, about doing things and just not looking for anything in return or what have you. There's nothing wrong with looking for things in return in the sense of people networking and stuff like that. We get
Mhm.
it.
Mhm. Mhm.
But I've learned for people, like, just be upfront with me. Like, don't leave
Absolutely.
me on. Just say, hey, can we do a barter? Hey, can we, I'm asking you this to get me. Put it all up front. Don't
Absolutely.
linger it on and make me think that you my friend when you're asked for a favor or something. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm.
I receive.
Yeah.
I receive. Yes,
For
because
sure.
it's a newer, I'm in the season I'm in. Most people wouldn't believe this, even though I've been doing this for a really long time. I've been singing all my life. I've been in business for quite some time. It's a newer lane for me to be okay to tell you no. And just
Come
say
on.
no. or to say I can't start, even though this is not what we're talking about today, but I do think it's a
Mm-hmm.
part of it, right? Or to say I
Mm-hmm.
can't start until
Mm-hmm.
you make a deposit. And it's so
Mm-hmm.
hard
Mm-hmm.
because sometimes in what I do, and of course what you do too, sometimes
Mm-hmm.
it's sensitive things. It can
Mm-hmm.
be the loss of a loved one. And while you dare
Mm-hmm.
not seek to be insensitive, the truth is this is still a business. I can't start because then it lingers. And this is no, this is not at anyone. This is just general conversation. But you'll look up and it'll be a month. And it's not because you're careless. You didn't want to be insensitive to the person's situation.
And the thing about it is, and you're exactly right. But one thing I've learned is this: two things. If you don't have it, just be honest with me. You now
Just
that
be honest
I
with me.
can work. If when I can't tell, and I know you do the same because we have the same heart. I can't tell you how many people have come to me and say, "Hey, Marquise, I want to do this, or I need this, or I want you to do this," but I don't have no money.
I don't
And
have
when
no
you tell me that, or they say, "Hey, I got 3/4," well, I'd rather make those 3/4 work than you leading me on. You know what I'm saying? I could take honesty versus, and then I'm honestly gonna have a heart for you because I know what it is not to have it. So that already you'll hit a soft spot with me. But like you said, because one thing I've learned about this industry, no shade. God knows the church or preachers don't need any more shade. But I'm gonna say this, and they know I love them, and they know how I am. Baby, them pastors and preachers, they want their money when they go preach.
Yep, up front.
So I don't I tell them all the time, all you got to do is raise the after offering to pay me. But I find myself always with them, hey, this is due, this is due. Doc, I got you, I got you. You want your money? I want my money. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So
Yeah, I think we
totally.
have to be better stewards of each other and of businesses. And like I don't want to go on a rant, but I just feel like what's something I can use? Okay, a general thing.
Mm-hmm.
When you go to Walmart
Mm-hmm.
and you go and you got the groceries and you're in the line, This is the truth. It's nothing personal. You
Mm-hmm.
don't get the opportunity to say, "Can I pay you Tuesday?"
Mm-hmm.
You
This is
have to
true.
pay it when
This
you
is
get
true.
ready to get out the
Mm-hmm.
line.
This
And
is
if your
true.
car doesn't work or
Mm-hmm.
you don't have enough cash, then you either get what you get what as much as you can
Mm-hmm.
pay for.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And
Mm-hmm.
there's no, and this is, isn't this, no one feels anything. So every now and then somebody be in line. Well, I don't, but that's like winning the lotto, right? That happens one in a million times.
Mm-hmm.
But there's no feelings. You just, if you
Mm-hmm.
can't afford it, what do you put it back?
There you go. There you go.
So I
Mm-hmm.
think it's interesting when people come to smaller businesses or people like you and
Mm-hmm.
and they say, "Can I pay you Tuesday?" And this is
Mm-hmm.
again, I'm not throwing off on
Mm-hmm.
anybody, but
Mm-hmm.
like, "Can I pay you Tuesday?" Or I can't. But like I've heard people gasp, but you've been doing it a long time, so people don't know we can read
Mm-hmm.
them because we got the Holy Ghost. So it's like when you say it's 300 and you can hear, they didn't say anything, but you can hear the kind of like gasp, like the pause, and you're like, all right, so tell me how much you have.
And then for us, another hard, complicated thing is this: us having to really, because in their mind, well, all you doing is making posts, or all you doing is, designing my flyer, all you're doing is this,
Oh
where
yeah.
it may seem very
Oh
small
yeah.
to them, but then it's like, okay, well, then you do it, or, I've had to, especially with graphic designers, I've had people come to me and, oh, such and such is too expensive. Who else do you have? And and I'm just very honest with them. Now, here's the thing with me: I'm nice, but I'm very honest. I don't hold back. I'm like, you're going to get what you pay for. So you may
Every
get
single
such
time.
and such who she or he may have your flyer done in 30 minutes, but it's going to look like it was done in 30 minutes. You know what I'm saying? It may only cost you $3. It's going to look like it cost you $3. You know what I'm saying? So you get what you pay for, and so a lot of times they'll say, or to me, well, all you're doing is posting and da 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 and all this stuff, and all you're doing is, then I can do that. But you're not. That's why you came to me. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not trying to be
That's
shady. I'm
good.
not trying to be rude,
That's
but it's
good.
like, okay, yeah, I get it. This is new for you. And I definitely understand that, especially when you're dealing with older preachers or older ministries. Social media is a new avenue for them. So they're like, wait a minute,
Absolutely.
you want to get paid this amount of dollars for posting on my page and for doing this and da 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 da. That's too much. I could find somebody else to do it. Good luck, because more than likely I'm cheaper than what they're gonna charge you,
Yeah, and people don't know
So
you've grown. So let's go back because you've
mhm,
grown, and then I want to talk about promotion for sure. So
mhm,
let's go back because of this, so people know. Not You can have all the numbers and have nothing. Says TDJ said you can
mhm,
have a whole bunch of money and have
mhm,
nothing. But you've
mhm,
grown this platform for quite some
mhm,
time, right? So
mhm,
how did
mhm.
you start?
Well, that's very interesting that you say grow, because I think something that needs to definitely be highlighted is what you said at the beginning, where I had another page that had so many followers. Then in social media, it's a fear that your page could be deleted any day. And that happens with
Mhm.
so many people, whether it be Instagram, TikTok, or Facebook, but then you're able to build over. But one thing, so when I started my second page to start all over, I had dropped all my rates down because I was like, well, I don't have as many followers. But then I said, no, the traffic is still the same. The certain people that follow me that they would want to be seen by is still the same.
Mhm. Mhm.
I'm a vet in this. Before me and Carlton and Samantha with Church and Fashion and Aldrin, there were no other social media pages doing what we
Nope.
were doing. So
Nope.
the
None.
other pages might have more followers, but they still know me by name. I was like, I'm gonna go back to my old prices. And by God's help, and just even, and that's where branding comes in at. When you're branded, a lot of times it doesn't matter about how many followers you have, because you've created a niche for yourself. You've created a standard for yourself. You've created a platform for yourself. Because even with Carlton, even though his page was taken down, he had to start all over, we still knew him. You know what I'm
Absolutely.
saying?
Absolutely.
So when you create a brand, your brand and your name and what you have accomplished is more than any followers. Followers matter for sure. But, you know, um, I think it was Sarah Jakes, and I was just watching this soundbite on something. She said that, you could cook the same thing that I cook, but you could use the same ingredients, but it's still not going to taste the same because it's me doing it. God gave it to me. He gave me the recipe. He gave me the plan. I cried over this. I was the blueprint for this. I paid for this. So I think with a lot of our brands, come to find out, it's just you just have that secret sauce, and that's not bragging or anything. It's just that God gave it to us, Nobody, Carlton didn't have anybody to look at. Nobody was doing what he was doing in our industry. Aldrin with gospel music, ENT, nobody was doing what he was doing. Church and fashion, Samantha, nobody was doing what she was doing. Nobody was doing what I was doing. It was just Holy Spirit inspired. If you listen to all of our stories, and how we got started, it was literally the Holy Spirit told us to start our pages, and then boom. You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
Wow. How before we get to the promotion part, because I want to go back to something you said about, maybe this deals with the promotion part. Okay, let's go back to, so how has the journey been for you?
The journey has been amazing. The journey has been amazing in the sense of, now I've learned a lot. And I think with any journey, anything we do comes with pros and cons. But it has been amazing because God answered so many prayers, and I didn't know that this was going to be the platform that He answered those prayers on. So that to say, I remember when I was working my 9 to 5, and I would just pray, and we have a lot of dreams, and I would say, God, give me a platform that I could give everybody else a platform on. I remember specifically praying that. God, let me be able to help other people that live in small cities like I live in a small city. Let me be able to create opportunities and open doors for other people, because a lot of times people feel like they have to move to a big city for things to happen. I don't live in a big city at all. It says Chicago, but I don't live in Chicago. I live in Illinois, but I don't live in Chicago. I live in a small town. So I would pray that all the time. Then when, my social media started taking over and God really started strategically, the Holy Spirit told me what to do to make money off of it, and just I started connecting and building from it. I remember the Holy Spirit saying to me and really putting in remembrance one day, me praying, literally showed me when I was on the floor, on my knees. I was at my mom's house and praying, saying, God, give me a platform one day that I could create platforms for everybody else. And Holy Spirit saying to me, you got the platform that you prayed for, that you're able to give everybody a platform. And that was, in the words of Oprah, aha moment. I was like, you're right. This is the platform. This is what's going to give everybody the platform. So yeah.
Wow. So let's talk about it. This is what I find very interesting. I find it interesting that I always say I grew up in the 1900s, right? So I grew up in the 90s, and so in the 90s you heard music on the music part, and the only way you could get it was to go buy it. There was no streaming. Streaming didn't exist or anything like that. So you could listen to a little bit of it if you went to, and most people don't even know what a music store is now, but you went to the music store and you could hear a preview of it or something like that. Sometimes you could listen to the whole song with the CD. They had these CDs. They had a CD player locked on the wall and stuff like that, right? To movies, but advertising was huge through TV, through radio. Even when I was watching the summer movie today, I thought, how did they get this word out to people about being at the march, about being, but it was through word of mouth, right? It was through radio. So now here we are, we're in the 21st century, and now here we are in the 21st century, and we have thousands of ways to promote. When I was watching this interview today, which again I encourage people watch with TD Jakes and Bernice King, he said, well, most people don't know is by the time you see something on the news, it's already happened. It's over. It's, they've kind of moved on in a way, right? And so there's all these avenues to promote, but what I notice is people still don't use them. I'm always amazed by the people who prayed, asked us to sow a seed. You cried, you ran around the church to get your album done, but you don't talk about it. I mean, you do not talk about that thing. Your album been out 6 months. Your album been out a year. I remember during the era of the Clubhouse, there was a young lady that came through Clubhouse, and she was asking. It was a whole bunch of artists in the room. It was Dietrich and Tasha Cobbs and Tasha Lockhart, all these people. And she said, "I need help promoting my music." And they said, "Okay, what are you doing?" She said, "Well, I posted it." They said, "When was the last time you posted it?" She said, "I posted it once." They said, "Wait, so what have you done since then?" And she said, "Nothing. I'm scared. I don't want to overwhelm people." I thought, McDonald's tells us about these fries that have over 150 ingredients in them about every day, 3 to 5 times a day. And McDonald's is 70 plus years old. I use this example all the time because McDonald's and Burger King can literally be on the same street across the street from each other, but they talk about their product every day. McDonald's will say, "We're not going to talk about it on Tuesdays unless that's strategic," right? Oh, because Burger King is on right now. So I would love to know from your insight, number one, why do you think that people have such a hard time talking about their struggle? Inside of that, I also find, again, I grew up in the 90s. So what I find is that I've always noticed this probably since, to be honest, probably since I was in high school. Shout out to one of my friends. His name is Ren Devin. And probably when I was about 20 years old or so, he said, "I think that you are made for the industry." It just makes sense for you. Because I was thinking like this when I was a teenager. Mary
It's
probably came
natural.
out like in the
2000.
Okay, 2000. Okay. I remember when Mary, I'm giving you a lot to digest. But I remember when Mary came out. I said, no shade to any of my friends who are on labels, okay? I said, I do not want to be on a gospel label. Because I felt that there was an enormous difference on how Mary was pushed versus gospel artists who were on gospel labels. It just felt more intentional. I think when they first came out, they were on Columbia. And it felt
Then I think they
totally
went to
different.
Sony.
And it was on Sony, right? It felt night and day. And I know there's a lot of things you can't do in gospel, but what I'm saying is it just always felt different. So I like to know from your standpoint, number one, why do you feel like there's such a difference from the secular to the gospel? Like why is the rollout so enormously different? And then why do people struggle with promoting themselves?
Oh, there's so many different ways to answer those questions. I would say first, I feel like the rollout is different. Um, First of all, this is going to answer part one and part two. Gospel already doesn't have a lot of avenues to promote. So I don't see why people wouldn't tap into all of them. You know what I'm saying? I think we make, if I remember correctly, they say 7% of the music genre is gospel. That's it. 7%. So we already don't have any, a lot of radio shows or a lot of interviews that we could go on, And one thing I'm learning within the last 5 years, I'm learning because, a lot of times within our Black community, we take for granted that everybody grew up in church, because I was one of those. You think everybody grandparents went to church, whatever. And I'm learning that a lot of Black people just did not grow up in church. You know what I'm saying? So all that to say, we don't have a lot of avenues to where we can promote gospel. And so that's a reason why the rollout is different. Part B is, I've heard a lot of preachers I deal with this, they say that they feel guilty for promoting themselves.
Really?
They feel like, oh, I'm putting the attention on me and it should be on God, whatever. Then there's a lot of people who are kind of slightly arrogant. So I'll say to certain ones, I'm like, oh, your record is good. Like you should push this more, and maybe you push it more, it could, get more streams or it could get more downloads and things like that. And then their response is, well, I looked at my monthly insights and I had 1,000 streams. So it's doing pretty good. Pretty good for who? You're satisfied with 1,000?
That don't mean nothing.
Or, it said that, I had, about 50 downloads or I had 200 downloads. That's good enough for you? Like, I feel like this. This is what I really feel. If God gave you something and you feel like it's good, whether it be a song, whether it be this shirt that says Chicago, whether it be a recipe, whatever it is, an idea, if you believe in it because God gave it to you, so you believe in it enough to bring it to fruition and, to get it manufactured and to get it out there, all of that, it is your job to get that God idea to as many people as you can get it to. But so many times we take the easy way out, then we put God in it and we use fake humility. Well, whoever it's for is for, and what God has for me is for me. No, there is something that we are to do with that as well.
Oh, that's so
God gave
good.
it to you. A lot of times we talk about we're going to the nations, we're going to the nations, we're going to the nations. That is a real thing. Like, that is something that is not impossible. You may not be there, you may not go to Dubai or to Australia in person, but your work can go there. Us on this live, you don't know, it could be 2 people watching or it could be 200 people watching. We don't know tomorrow when the playback is posted. We don't know who will get on YouTube that lives in Japan or who lives in Canada that will watch this live. That is our way of going to the nations. And people don't
That's so
realize that
good.
social media is a great outlet if we work it. But a lot of times we're lazy or we just make excuses. Well, it's doing good. It's doing good because your target audience, which you claim is your city is not your target audience. They're not buying your music or buying your book or buying your cookies because it's good. They're buying it because you go to their church and they know when they see you next Sunday, they're gonna ask you, did you buy my cookies? Did you download my song? Did you download my shirt or buy my shirt? They're not doing it because they want to. They're doing it because to hush you up. Your target audience is outside of the city
That's
that
her.
you live in, outside of the church that you go to. That's your real target.
Oh, that's
People
so
don't think
good.
like that,
I love this. I love what you said because a lot of people, if I can say it like this, fishbowl themselves a little bit, if that's a way to say it. They kind of stay within the bowl. And I say this all the time, God created a big, beautiful world for us to enjoy. And a lot of times, especially in my opinion, because we work for I call them church kids, they stay in the 4 walls. And maybe it's not always the 4 walls of your church, but it's in the 4 walls of your city. It's in the 4
Come
walls of your
on.
group of
Come
friends.
on.
It's in the 4 walls of you only do no shade. You only do the Kojic stuff, or you only do the apostolic stuff, or you only do the Baptist stuff. But when I was watching this interview today with Bernice King and TD Jakes, I'm gonna be honest. When she said, "Yeah, it's cool to have the small business," she said, "Well, we need to elevate the Asian community.
You
They
can't just keep
own
it
all the
within
products
your
we use."
community. Exactly.
Absolutely. She
Exactly.
said, "We don't own the products." So the truth is we need to expand. She said she was talking about civil rights and how, yeah, it was cool. We had a lot of Black businesses in our neighborhood. That is true. She said, but it was just us. And man, when TDJ said we buy into this thing that it's just supposed to be us. We're not supposed to space ourselves outside of these spaces. I thought, oh my God. And so I think we have to expand our thinking.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We must. We
Yes,
must.
it's a lot of poor advertisement. Shout out to, I'm probably gonna say his name probably correctly. He was on Sunday Best. His name is like Terrell. I want to say Hunter, but I don't think that's the correct name. He was on Sunday Best. Brown skin guy, glasses. He sings very, 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 very well. And I've never met him personally. I don't know him at all. He's getting ready to have a live recording. First of all, the flyer was so nice. The moment.
What city is it in?
Oh, I'm going to look while we're talking. I'm going to look. He's getting ready to do a live recording. And the moment, I say this for purpose, because the moment I saw his flyer, I felt prompted to share it based upon how it looked. Now people say, "You
That's
graphic
important.
designer." No. I don't know who made it. I don't know who designed it. I don't know anything. His name is Terrell Hall.
Oh yes, from Baltimore. Okay.
Yes,
DC, Baltimore. He's
he's having a live
amazing.
recording July 6th. And what prompted me to share is I said, "Oh, this is nice." He said, I hope my screen doesn't show.
See?
Okay. This is, it's probably too much light. I said, oh, this is nice. But I say that because I felt at that moment, this was intentional. It felt, what's up, Owen Forbes? Hey, man, how you doing?
Hey, Owen.
He said he is Kojic.
But he is Kojic. He's one of ours.
One of ours. And you are Kojic. I felt like it felt so intentional. It was well done. It wasn't over the top. It felt inviting. It's a nice picture. He's smiling. I said, oh. So I say that because people have no idea how far intention goes.
You gotta think about it. You can't just do it.
Go ahead.
No. You go ahead. You just can't do it. You can't just. It has to be some thought put into it.
Yes, it has to be something. And I ask you that because you, I'm sure, get inbox. I think we talked about this one time. I'm sure you get inbox flyers every day. Can you post my such and such, right? Can you post my such and such?
That's how I got into the business of charging, because even before I ever thought about being an influencer, but when my other page started getting popular, I would get everybody every day. Can you post? 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 And I was doing it for a while, but it just got, just to be so much. So I was like, well, maybe I need to get a little coin off of this. Let me charge them 50 cents or whatnot. Let me charge them $1.50 or whatnot. And so then, of course, that weeds out who really wants to be posted or whatever. But yes, very much so. Like you said, intention and graphics are important. When you have a decent graphic and a nice graphic, it causes people to take you serious. You may not be great. Yes. You may not even be able to sing good. I can't tell you how many people I download their music because the graphic is nice. Now, am I kind of let down after I listen to the song? Sure, whatever. But that graphic gravitated me in there like, oh, let me download this.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Absolutely. So I'd like you to talk a little bit more as we talk about promotion. And someone say, what does that have to do with promotion? It has a lot to do with promotion, in my personal opinion, because now I say this, but I say this with love, but you tell me if I'm wrong. I don't think we're regular, right? And so if you're regular, it's okay to be regular, but I don't think we're regular. So let me tell you where I feel like non-regular kids are. When you're not regular. When I was watching, this is no shade. When I was watching the commemorative service today, I said, "Why are there two directors? Huh? People who are everyday people. There's nothing wrong with that. You wouldn't have even noticed the two directors. You wouldn't have even noticed when the click track went out. When you go to a concert, I see that the screen is too small, and people who are trying to scan the QR code can't see it. I noticed that there's too much verbiage on this screen, and Sister Sally, who's 65 in the back, can't read that.
Because that's your gifting. That's your gifting.
Yeah. Like you just absorb. I'm sure when you walk in a room, you absorb different things than most people, right? So with that, most people may see a flyer and they may think there's nothing wrong with it. There's like, it has 10 different fonts. You can't see the address. It's just all
oh, you're saying a mouthful. You're really saying a mouthful, and this is something.
But it makes a difference, even if it's just to the everyday eye, right?
It makes a difference.
I'm not gonna say it because I know I'm the graphic designer. You share with me based on what you do, why it makes a difference to have clean work, if you will. Whether it's the video, whether it's the reel, why does that make a difference?
If it's not going to be excellent, then what's the point in doing it? I can't stand to work with people when you have, and when I say excellence, I go down to the basics. I'm talking about being on time. I'm talking about all of it. And now, hear me out. I get some churches or some people and some, we don't always have big budgets. I get it. I don't have a big budget for when I have my conference and things like that. I'll do that for favors. A lot of times. But however, there's still a level of excellence that is required if you're going to do it. And I feel like I hate to talk down on church, but I got to do it. I don't understand where you have church people who most of them do work a 9 to 5 and they know what's required on their job. They know the level of excellence and the rules and the regulations that's required on the job. But then when they come to church, all that goes out the window and we're supposed to just accept it. One thing I often say is I can't stand with everything outside of church. You have to have credentials. You have to have, if you apply for a job, if you're going to be a graphic designer for NBC or for CBS, this is why I'm qualified to have this job. If I'm going to be a writer, this is why I'm qualified to have this job. If I'm going to be a singer, this is where I got my training. If I'm going to be a producer. But when it comes to church, it's just, where do you want to work? Not where you're qualified, not where your credentials, not where you're really gifted, not where you're really called to work. It's just, where do you want to be? So then you have all these people I had the dream of always being a producer, so I'm gonna do it here at the church because they'll let me. I'm not good at it. I don't have any prerequisites. I don't have any credentials. I don't have any schooling for it, but just because I wanted to do it. I'm gonna be a Sunday school teacher. I don't know anything about the word, but I've always wanted to be a teacher. I'm gonna work with the youth department. I don't know anything about dealing with young people. I don't even have any children. I don't know anything about coaching. I don't work for the school district, but I've decided I want to do that. That is so inappropriate. That's not excellent. And to even piggyback off of what you said about when you go to different churches and things like that, and you notice things because that's your niche. You notice when the QR code is too small or when the graphic isn't done correctly and all of that. That's because that's your area of expertise.
Yes,
and
sir.
A lot of times we have people that are doing things in our churches, in our ministries, and it's not their area of expertise.
Yes,
so
sir.
Things like that happen. You have the QR code wrong, or this person is making graphic design and they don't realize that if you're sending me a graphic for the stories, that there are certain dimensions that it's supposed to be. But you just figured out how to do Chat GPT and AI. So then you're all of a sudden charged $50 for that. No, that's inappropriate. That ain't how that goes. But we don't want to be experts. We just want to do things because we want to do it. To me, that's dangerous. That is so dangerous, Yolanda. And I talk about it even when I'm doing, classes or workshops here in my church and our jurisdiction, things like that. I always give this analogy. If you have to get open heart surgery tomorrow, and the doctor that comes to do the open heart surgery didn't go to college, didn't go to school, doesn't have any classes, haven't done any research, have never done this surgery, but came because they decided, hey, I just want to be open heart surgery. I saw it on the internet and I figured, let me do it. I ain't got no classes, no credentials, no nothing. You see how dangerous that is?
Sir.
That's how dangerous it is when you decide that you want to be a worship leader, but you can't sing, you're not gifted, you're not called, you haven't studied, you don't know how to choose music, you don't know how to lead people, you don't have a prayer life, you don't know anything about shifting an atmosphere. That's what happens when you decide you want to be a graphic designer. You don't know anything about colors, you don't know anything about dimensions, that's how dangerous it is. And I think with the body of Christ, we just don't take things seriously enough. Well, Marquis, it ain't that big of a deal. Yes, it is that big of a deal. This is life or death. That's God. To me, to be doing something that God did not call me to do. Think about if you needed some plumb. Oh, I talked about something's wrong with my furnace. What if someone came? Let's say, Yolanda, that you're a furnace and you were here in my house, and someone that did not really know how to work with furnaces came, and you knew all that they had to do to get my furnace working correctly. But you have to sit there and watch them make all the kind of mistakes because they don't have any schooling. They just decided, I'm going to get up and I just want to do furnaces. They're not called to it. They haven't been taking any class. They have no certification. But they can mess my furnaces up just based on, I want to do furnaces today. And here you are, you have the credentials, you've put in the work, you've consecrated, you've taken the classes, you have the ability, but then you got to watch them do my furnace, and they don't know what they're doing, and you know what they're doing. Okay, y'all just take that and run with it. That's all I got to say about that.
Yeah, you just said something that
That's all I got. That's it.
You just said something.
That's all I got.
And I think you know that you said it. You just said something I think happens so often, especially. I said, what does that have to do with promotion? But you just said something I think happens so often because sometimes people only want the popular people. But then you have someone that is among you that has the qualities. They have the gift. They have the talent, but they're not popular.
Let's
So
go
because
there.
they're not
Okay,
popular,
keep going because I got
we
something to say
don't
about that. Keep
choose
going.
them. And
Now,
mm,
and now here's the thing
be
with the
careful.
popular, because I get that now, but I do want to go to a left with that because I have so many people who, and you probably seen it. I know they kept saying, "Yes, Lord, you're a graphic designer," so I know you probably noticed that. So many people were saying, "We just use the same speakers at everything. We just use the same artists. It's the same speakers at everything." Then it hit me. These speakers that are everywhere, they promote themselves. They
Absolutely.
push themselves. You know what I'm saying, Yolanda?
Absolutely.
So where this person might be a great artist, but like you said earlier, they only posted themselves once. We're going to book who we know. If we don't know you, we can't book you.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
I don't care. There's some of the preachers that God has blessed me with. Oh, one who I brag about all the time. She's one of my best friends, Dr. Valerie Moore. When we started working together, she wasn't as popular as she is now. And
Mm-hmm.
she didn't know me, and I didn't know her.
Mm-hmm.
At that time, I had gotten into branding. I want to say about 2014, 15. I had started my classes. It wasn't even Zoom then. Zoom wasn't popular. I just had a conference line, and I would teach my classes once a week on there. And
Wow.
she got on the class. But all that to say, look at her now. But as you see, we still market. I still
Yep.
push her.
Yep. Yep.
It wasn't a point where she was like, okay, well, everybody know me. I ain't got to keep putting myself out there. You never know who doesn't know you. Everybody doesn't know you. There's 7.53 billion people in this world. And then also the amazing thing, what I love with her, that's what's happening is not just the church is calling for her. She's got reshares from Tamar Braxton or from just different celebrities that'll be in the comments saying, I'm gonna inbox you. This is really me. I need prayer. And that is the power of social media that we don't take advantage of. A lot
Mm-hmm.
of times, Yolanda, we post, but if we don't get the results out of it that we want for that day, it doesn't go viral, then we stop. You got to keep going. You got to
We
work
have to
every
keep going.
day as if nobody knows you.
Every day. I say this all the time.
Hmm.
There's some little girl. First, people cannot support what they don't know about. I'm
Come
sorry.
on, come
They don't.
on.
They can't support you if they don't know. And
Hmm.
then there's some
Hmm.
little girl living in some little island. She doesn't know who Beyonce is, and they're like, I know somebody just heard me say that, and they're gonna think that's crazy, but that is the truth. They don't
Look
know
at
who
different age
Beyonce is.
groups. Look
They've
at
never
different
heard
age
her.
groups. Yes, with Oprah, the biggest thing for our generation.
Absolutely.
And I love Oprah, y'all. So anyway, I love me some Oprah. Y'all say what y'all want, but I love Oprah. So I'll look at just even some of the shows that she appears on today or just different things on her social media. And I read the comments and it's crazy because I mean, the younger generation, they don't know her. They don't know her at all because she doesn't have a show, to where every time when we would get out of school at 4 o'clock, Oprah would be on. They
Mm-hmm.
don't have that. So there's always someone that doesn't know you. That's my rule
Absolutely.
with social media. I don't care if I post the same video every single day for 365 days. There's someone who has never seen it before.
Yeah, and I
That's
think
just
we
my
have to
science
get.
to it.
I'm so glad you said that. I think we have to get out of this space that says I'm getting on people's nerves.
Who
I say get on my nerves. Let
cares?
me tell you something. If God bless you to do X, Y, and Z, your book,
Mm-hmm.
your
Mm-hmm.
T-shirt line,
Mm-hmm.
lipstick, music, whatever it is, baby, get on my nerves. Because who cares if you got on my nerves? Actually,
I don't care.
I
And
don't.
with the
I don't.
algorithm,
What
I'm
if I
probably
don't
not going
like
to
it?
see all
I'm
of it
one.
anyway.
Absolutely, I'm one person. So what happens to, like you said, to the 8 billion people?
I know when I was going heavy with my merch or what have you during the pandemic, there would be times that I would literally, don't lie, post probably 10 times within the day. And I would get maybe one or two sales. But in my mind, I would say to myself, if I wouldn't have posted those 10 posts, then I wouldn't have got the one or two sales. So there may be a day where you might make one post and you get 50 sales, but then there are some days where you might make 50 posts and you get only 10 sales. You just have to keep going. You just never know, you know?
Give
And
us
you
the
never know who would buy it. And so.
and I think we have to be. Let me say this for the church kids, because again, I desire to be in the market. I am in the marketplace, but I desire to be in spaces like the Breakfast Club and things like that, because I think our voices and our energy are needed in those spaces.
Is needed,
a lot of
for
times,
sure.
in my opinion,
For sure.
to go back to what you said, they don't know we exist because we limit ourselves to just the church culture space and just to the Black church culture space, right? We limit ourselves to these small pockets and say, Yolanda, that's not small. Yeah, but if gospel music is only 7%, we're right literally above holiday music. So if that be the case, that means that people are not really hearing this music. So to us, it's like, how can you not know who Tasha Cobbs is? But I'm telling you, there's some mother in some country in Europe, she's never heard of Tasha Cobbs. She doesn't know who she is. In her world, she doesn't
They don't know.
exist.
Let's look
They
at all
don't
the
know.
African artists that are out there. Well, forget the African artists. Let's talk about Kingdom Music on Friday with the greatest, Erica Campbell. When I'm looking at that on Friday to download a lot of the artists, I've never heard of any of them.
Yep, me too.
And I'm like, now who is it? And I downloaded all, of course, which shows you that I don't want to say, it's not that our industry is oversaturated at all. It's just that it's easier for people to put out their music. So to where 20 years ago was the same 20 people. Now we have hundreds of people, which is a great thing. However, you just got to keep going, because I'm like, I don't know none of these people at all. When we go to the Stellar Awards, I'm looking at a flyer like, I know 3 of these people on this flyer. You know,
right?
So you just got to keep going. You have to keep going.
So tell people, number one, why did we answer the question why secular rollouts a lot of times are better than?
They have more of a budget.
I don't mean just the music. I mean church. Like I'm always puzzled. Like, no one can come to your church if we don't know it exists.
Right.
Like, y'all should be on. Right. Yeah. Like on Saturday, between Friday and Saturday, you tell me if that's the best time. I should be seeing all kind of come to X, Y, and Z place. But I don't see it.
Well, that's because, again, that goes into we have the wrong people in the wrong spaces. I mean, there's probably people who are marketing geniuses that work for some of the top people. But if you ask them what do they do at their local church or who's over the marketing, it's probably somebody that doesn't have any have any expertise in it. I mean, that's just the truth of the matter. Most of the people, can we go here? You sing in an amazing community choir. A lot of the people but you also go to an amazing church. So this ain't for you, but this for other people. A lot of the people who are great music and great community choirs and things like that, you go to their local churches and you hear the choir and you're like, now why you ain't doing the choir? We just have the wrong people in the wrong spaces, you know?
True. So true. Oh my God, so true.
Yeah. And we fail because of it. It's a penalty to be paid. It's a price to be paid, you know? So
wow.
We don't get the rollouts that we should, you know. Now the secular, of course, they get a bigger budget, you know. A lot of people who I hate when people have the stigma that church has all this money. I'm like, do you look at people what they put in offering? People don't have money like that to put in the offering, so it's not any money like that, you know, to where you're dealing with the secular who have $1 million budgets compared to our maybe a few hundreds, but. You know, other than that, it's basically literally the wrong people in place. It's that simple.
I love what you just said. So I don't want to dwell on it, but something you said made me think about the Drewski video, right? And I've seen a couple, and I did not necessarily watch it all the way through. You know, I don't know if I feel either which way about it. I just feel like it doesn't pay anything in my life, so it's nothing, it's nothing shady, right? But something you said made me think about this, because what I did notice is so many people saying the church should give back to the community. The church, I just kept saying this over and over and over again, and the pastors are stealing money and that. So I said, okay, I need to look up some information myself. So these are things that you probably know because what you do. There are about 350,000 plus churches in America, right? 350,000. Out of that 350,000, I only know this number because the number stuck out so big. 350,000 Christian churches or Protestant churches in America. Out of that, there's only about 17,000 mega churches in America. Out of that, so you got the so take out the mega churches, right? Out of that, most churches are they have about 200 members or less. The average church is about 100 members or less. People say that's not true because I go to, but your church, if it has higher numbers, things like that, that's different. So inside of that, most pastors are vocational. They work a job and they are the pastor. My granddaddy was a pastor.
And
He
they're
worked
still
a
getting
job.
people who ask for things because they think that they have money.
Absolutely.
I always say to my pastor, I'm in a small area, so we have no mega churches in my area at all. A mega church to us would be somebody on a Sunday that maybe has 200 people.
Wow.
So I always say a lot of pastors in our area, especially my pastor, I would say they would live better and could live so much better if they would tell people no. But people are always going to them, or people think that they have because of that stigma. But they have children too. They have children that are in college. They have grandchildren, and people just don't think that. I always look at, like you said, people say the church should do more for the community. The more church should do more for the community. They do, but all these people that say that, they don't come to church. They say all of this, and then it's like, well, what are you doing for the community? It's an individual job. We can't do anything for the community without money. You don't come, but then you want us to bury your loved one. You don't come, but you want us to help with that. But then I'm just very big on checking myself. Before I want to hold a group of people accountable, what is the church doing? What is the black race doing? What is this doing? What am I doing? Have I done anything to help the community? Have I used my resources? That doesn't always look like money. It could be just me going to help serve, or me give blankets to the nursing home, or me. What am I doing? I try not to look at what is everybody else doing. What are they? It's easy to point the finger. No, what am I doing? I hold myself accountable. What can I do better this year? What did I not do last year?
I agree with that. I saw this conversation that was happening with Pastor Mark Moore, and he's controversial, bold guy, and he, as he said something, a young man was in the comments, and he said, I mean, when's the last time you did something for the community? Like, and so first, let me say this. I don't care if I like you, dislike you. I don't do respect. I don't do disrespect, right? I was raised by a country mama, and so that means it doesn't matter if you agree with the pastor said. You keep your mouth closed. Now that's how I was raised. You don't talk back. You don't get back. You don't do none of that. And my mom used to say this all the time. She said, "Bible says, touch not that anointed. Keep your mouth off the people." Right? That's just me. But in that, I thought it was interesting that this young man had loads to say. And then he was going back and forth with Pastor Mark, and he was saying, I said, okay. So I went to see his Instagram, and there were all of these lovely things. And my first thought was, so you're asking, this is just what you just said. I'm just regurgitating. Wait, you're asking all the things he's doing, but you're at a big old baseball game. You're at this big game. Did you find someone in your neighborhood who couldn't afford to go to the game, so you took them with you? There was another picture he had, and he had very nice dinner. He had mussels and da. Okay, cool. That's nice. I'm not hating on you. Did you find somebody who's never had a fine dining experience? Probably hold me to that. Had a fine dining experience and said, you know what? I want to go to a boys' home and I want to teach young men about etiquette. Or I want to find a young guy in my neighborhood that I can connect with, or at a high school. When was the last time you went back and volunteered at a high school and said, I want to find out what's going on with the basket? You know what I'm saying? So I agree with you. I think, and this is, you can say, well, Yolanda, you're defending this, or you're mad at, first of all, I don't even know Drewski.
Right.
I haven't been privileged.
I didn't even watch it. I didn't even watch it. I
watch it. It's like,
video.
Yeah, it's like we know
but
what
I'll
it is.
say this, with the church, like you said, because it's a double standard in a sense, or they're going to find something to say about us no matter what. Because if the churches record themselves feeding the homeless and doing this, why y'all recording it? You doing this to be seen? And why are you recording? But then if they don't record it, see, y'all don't do nothing. Y'all don't ever do, you know what I'm saying? You just can't please everybody. So
This
you
is
got to
so
do what you
true.
do unto the Lord. That
This
is
is
it.
so true.
Unto the Lord.
Now,
Because
this
they
is
are
so
always
true.
going to have something to say.
This is so true. Oh my
Mm-hmm.
God. I agree with that. And I take that for myself because I'm a church kid and I don't even have to know you. Me and
Mm-hmm.
Pastor Mark, we know each other like social media, like oh that's
Mm-hmm.
Yolanda kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But I
Mm-hmm.
found myself getting a little frustrated like a member. I said, "You talking to?" Because
Mm-hmm.
I'm a
Mm-hmm.
church kid and I do defend the kingdom. I defend gospel music. So
Absolutely.
I felt like,
Absolutely.
now I get
Absolutely.
it, but
Absolutely.
also I think I know you're like, what does this have to do with healing promotion? But I think some of us need to heal.
Mm-hmm.
And so the
Mm-hmm.
truth
Mm-hmm.
is, you're mad at the
Mm-hmm.
church for what happened to you when you were 10. And you haven't, and not that what happened to you doesn't matter,
Mm-hmm.
but you're still holding on to that.
That and we
Uh-oh, what happened? Did I push him out? He pushed himself out. Okay, so we're talking to Marquis. He probably will come back. Thank you for your kindness. So we've been talking to Marquis Jelks about promotion, and really it is evolving into this conversation about promotion and also just the church in general, how the church is going, how it's ran, how it's viewed, all the things inside and outside of it, which is just interesting all the way around, right? So he's probably gonna come back. So while we're waiting on that, someone asked me a question. Shout out to Instagram, who's also on the line too. Someone from Instagram, I saw my friend Danielle. Shout out to her. So someone asked me a question. I think the first question was, "What is the best automated CMT schedule to connect with on social media?" I just think it depends on what your needs are. I think I have found that the best systems that work for me are the systems that I understand. Shout out to Bishop George Bloom. I quote this quote from him all the time, and I'm gonna have Marquise answer this question too. But one of my favorite quotes from Bishop George Bloomer, I'm actually looking for something so my eyes are trailing, is God give me something I can understand. And so seriously, some people like Google, some people still on, other systems. So I think for me, it just depends on what system works best for you. But I'm going to have him come back because he just made it back through. Okay,
I'm
you're
back.
back.
Sorry about that.
No, you're good. So I want to go back to, and I have a couple of questions that people have asked
Okay.
out here we're on Instagram too. So first, I think it's really important back to that everybody does their part, right? Like we
Yeah,
all have
we
to
we
do our
hold
part.
people to higher standards than we hold ourselves. I don't get it. And I guess it's easy to do because of human nature, but I really try to check myself. Like if I'm expecting more out of this, what am I doing though? I always have to bring it back to self-reflection. It's easy to
This is so good.
they didn't, he didn't, she didn't. No, what am I didn't do? What haven't I done? You know?
Yeah, I think that's important because everybody was up in arms. Everybody, and I
Uh-huh.
understand it both ways. I
Mm-hmm.
understand that for years there's been church comedy sketches, whether it's been through
Mm-hmm.
In Living Color, whether it's been Eddie Murphy, whether it was
For
Coming
sure.
to
For
America.
sure.
And I think sometimes when it comes from higher spaces, no shade to Drewski.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes
Mm-hmm.
for some reason we don't have a much of an offense with it, right? Most of us have been
Mm-hmm. For
quoting
sure.
things from
For
Coming to
sure.
America mostly as long as the
Mm-hmm.
movie's been alive.
Mm-hmm.
And we
Mm-hmm.
don't
For sure.
see, we don't have the
Mm-hmm.
problem. You know what I'm saying? But
Right. That's
I
true.
think with
That
Drewski,
is
it was
true.
like, oh no. And then
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I, I was watching other parts today, just other interviews, and the truth is, I think it hits home for us because we're just kind of sensitive about the church, right? And
Easy.
something you said that
Mm-hmm.
is so true. I know, and I'm sure you know, I know plenty of pastors who go outside and they feed the homeless. And I mean, they'll be outside with the people feeding the
All the
homeless.
time.
They have
All
clothing
the
drives. They
time.
have
All
this.
the
They have that.
time.
And they don't always advertise it. Shout out to
They don't advertise it. Yeah.
Bishop David Cooper in Albuquerque, New
Mm-hmm.
Mexico. Every year, he partners with a company, and they
Mm-hmm.
bring a huge 18-wheeler truck full of
Mm-hmm.
furniture, and he gives it away to
Mm-hmm.
the community.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And he
Mm-hmm.
doesn't. I mean, he advertises it, but you may not see it because where is he? He's in Albuquerque, New Mexico. So I think that part is super important to note. So people don't feel like they're just not doing anything. But I just want to say this one part again. You do have to do your part.
That's it.
Right. As I was watching Salem today, I recognized that as wonderful as Martin Luther King is, as much as we love him and celebrate his life, he couldn't have done that fight by himself.
At all. At all.
Right. It took everybody being a part. Somebody made the sandwiches. somebody rolled the flyer, and that's back in the day. So somebody put flyers on the door. Somebody else answered the phone. Somebody else did this part. It takes everybody doing their part together. So we have, where are these questions? So we have a couple of questions. Okay, so the first question is, what is the best automated CMT to schedule content on? So CMT platforms, I'm sure it'll be like Hootsuite, Sprout Social Bee. Which one of those platforms do you say?
I don't know because I've never used them.
Really?
If you look, I have an iPad and I have 3 phones. Now, there used to be an app on that you were able to schedule called Eber or something like that. So I would use that for a couple of clients. But now, of course, you could do it through Instagram and stuff. You could do advanced settings. But other than that, because I am a real old school social media manager, if I'm not doing advanced settings, I have alarms and stuff that tells me, okay, this needs to be posted at this time. This needs to be posted at that time.
Do you post as you feel?
Oh, absolutely. As I feel, unless I have something specific that I'm really, if there's a goal with a client, like I have a client that's getting ready to drop some music this week. So there's a goal. So it's going to be as I feel and it's going to be scheduled. But now I will also say this is what I've learned. A lot of times when we're using the apps to schedule the post, I notice that the engagement is different. Also, I'm noticing when you've linked all of your accounts together, like so it automatically posts on Facebook and Instagram and everything at the same time. It's like your Instagram might get traffic, but the Facebook gets nothing.
I thought that was just me.
So it's like, I tell a lot of, and I don't care how popular you are. I know some of the artists that have literally close to 1 million followers, and their Facebook and Instagram is intertwined together. And their Instagram might get traffic, but then I'll go look on the same post on Facebook, and they might get 10 likes and 2 people that comment on it. I'm like, see, this is because it's being intertwined. So yeah, you gotta really work.
Because shouldn't the captions be different, right? The captions necessarily should not be the same
for
all the platforms.
For sure, yes, because Facebook, there's a different energy that Instagram has versus Facebook. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
I always say the difference is a lot of times with Facebook, you're getting people who support you because they have to. The people on Facebook are the people who you went to school with, your neighbors who you went to church with, all of that stuff. So they have to. You came out with hoodies, let me buy them, blah, 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 blah. Instagram, if y'all ever seen the movie Baps, when they get those checks and he gives them the 2 checks, and then they rip them up and say, no, we here because we want to be. Instagram, them people are there because they want to be there for you. They don't know you, they ain't met you, but they come across you, they follow, they want to be. So the interaction and engagement is just a little different. So the wording is definitely different.
This is really good. There was another question. Let me grab this other question. What do you think about the practice of putting QR codes on graphics?
Oh, I think that's good. I don't see anything wrong with that. It really helps. Especially if it's gonna link them back to the website or for giving, I see nothing wrong with that personally. Also, because we have a lot of older individuals that are getting really techy. So they look for those QR codes. Yeah. So I don't see anything wrong with it personally. It really helps, especially when it comes to
Really?
giving, especially with giving. Because I know from my
Mhm.
conference last year, that was the first time that we really did a lot of the QR codes. I was still very old school, like, them people, but I'm like, it really helps to the point on that. So my conference was Thursday, Friday, Saturday. That Saturday, that Saturday morning, we went ahead and just printed a whole bunch of sheets with the QR code on it
Mhm.
to make it
Mhm.
easy for
Mhm.
people
Mhm.
giving. And we put it on everybody's seats.
Mhm.
So,
Mhm.
because,
Mhm.
when you're in a prophetic atmosphere or just an anointed atmosphere, people might want to give outside of the offering,
Mhm.
So we was
Mhm.
like, let's just put it on everybody's seats. So if they're prompt to get, then they got that code and they have those multiple outlets. So, yes.
Hmm.
Um, I will also say though, with the QR code, I'm big on, not, if you are having a conference or what have you, this is just me putting everything on one flyer and crowding it. I'll be like, you need to get a separate flyer for the QR code or a separate
Mhm.
flyer for to break it up. And then if you start early with your event, because I always tell people, they say, how early should I start? As soon as you think about it, you should start it. You should start pushing it, because if people know ahead of time, you never know who will come to your event. If Yolanda said, I'm having a live recording in October 2027, she should go ahead and give us the save the date so we can get on our calendar, because you never know who would come. So, with that being said, if I was pushing something, a conference in October, I'm going to me. It's just me. I can't say it's the right or wrong thing. I'm gonna probably have some graphics done. What is this, January? But probably by April, I'm gonna change them up again because I'm tired of seeing the same thing posted all the
Mhm.
time.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying?
So you agree with the
So,
theory to change the flyer?
oh,
Let's say you
absolutely.
put it out. So let's say you put something out February,
hmm
and let's
hmm
say you say by April, May. Let's say, for
I'm
example,
changing
it
it.
was blue. Then by
hmm
April, May, you want to switch. Are you requesting the entire flyer to be totally different?
More than likely. More
Really?
than likely. And I get that I'm gonna go to the left, because I get some people say, well, no, I want to keep it the same for branding purposes, or I want to keep it the same so they know at least this is the same thing. But for me, I'm like, and I want them, if they didn't pay attention to the last one, then they see this and they think it's something totally different.
Oh, you want that? Because I
Or
think
it's
people
just
get.
the
I think
Marquis
people get
sent me.
lost.
Like, I don't care. I want something complete. It's like just the Marquis
Really?
sent me. I want something completely different. I'm like, okay, we've been posting this for 3 months. I want a different color, a different vibe, whatever. Let's change it up. And then also, because with me, I done probably added more guests to it and stuff like that. So I was just like the.
Okay,
So
that's
I
fair.
I, I will go with this. I'm gonna say this answer, and I know you get this. A lot of times when people come to me and my clients, I always tell them this. Some things, there's just no right or wrong answer. It's just, if you can make it work, then you make it work. So I would say with that, it may not be a right or wrong answer. There's probably um, good points on both sides, pros and cons to keeping it the same or switching it up. But if just what you can make, if you can make it work, then you make me a believer. You know what I'm saying? So I would say with that, it just depends. It's up to the person if they feel like
It's
they
up to
can
the
do it.
person. Yeah, I
hmm
heard this today when I was watching again TD Jakes. It's just really good. But I heard him say this and made me think about you. Big things take time. You can't. This is
mm
what he said. Big things take time. You can't throw them together, things together at the last minute and want to have impact.
That's
And I
good.
agree with that.
That's
I think
good.
a lot of people, they feel like, especially social media, in my opinion, has made all of us lazy. Like all of us. I'm included.
Oh,
All
for
of us.
sure. For
All of us.
sure.
Right. And so we feel like, I'll use my example. On the lives today, I can put it up at 2 o'clock. Y'all come down. But
hmm
that's not true.
hmm
I think we all have to get better at, in some ways, involving old promotion with new promotion. Right. To me, tell me from the new promotion is you
hmm
can put it up right now. You don't have to go get
hmm
copies. You don't have to go get it printed.
hmm
You can put it up right now. The other part is social media, I think
hmm
sometimes makes us feel like I have 5,000 friends,
hmm
growing followers, like 17,000
hmm
followers, something like that. So you feel like all 5,000 of your people saw it, but that's not true.
That's
First of all,
not
having
true. That's
5,000 friends is
exactly how they feel.
Having 5,000 friends is not special because anybody can have that now. Almost everybody has that, so that's not special, right? I think we have to get better at presenting. So I won't keep you long. So tell me 3 things that you feel like people can improve on today.
Okay. Well, piggyback off of what you just said about when you make a post and you think that just because you posted it, if you have 5,000 friends and 5,000 people saw it. First of all, Yolanda and I have been on this live for about an hour and a half. So if somebody posted something, we did not see it.
Nope.
So if you posted that one time and you just dropped music or you dropped the hoodie, and then the next day you get in your feelings because we didn't order one of your hoodies because you posted it that one time. We're live. We didn't look at your post. So you need to post it. I always tell people post it as much as you can at different times. Remember, your city is not just your target audience. So if I post now, Yolanda's in North Carolina, so it's 9:30. She's getting ready for bed, and I'm getting ready almost for bed. But then the people in California, they are eating dinner and stuff. You know what I'm saying? So you have to think we're all time zones. You're not just your city and your people. So I would say consistency with posting. Number 2, getting others to post, whether you have to pay or whether you're getting friend favors. One thing that I learned from a lot of people that have a lot of followers, such as Tasha Cobbs or Erica Campbell, Gugu Atkins, Kiera Sheard, things that they've had that we've been brought in to help push or help post or help promote, whether it be their shows or their events like that. Even though they have over 1 million followers, that still doesn't mean that people are going to see it. Because the same goes for them. If they post right now at 8:30, we're on live, we're this, but if I get different people to post, they're gonna get, if I get different people in different time zones, if I get different people that have different, amount of followers, because just because Google might have 2 million followers doesn't mean that all of my followers follow her. So, and it doesn't mean that it also, just because she posted it at 5 o'clock, maybe they didn't see it when she posted at 5, but when I posted at 8, they will see it. You know what I'm saying? So getting other people, I always say your people are your street team. So that's number 2. Number 3, be strategic. Think it out. You talked about earlier about rollouts. And a lot of times we try to do the Beyonce method, which only works for Beyonce. Only Beyonce, she could drop a project without any promo, none of us knowing, and it'd be successful. But even with her doing that, it was still strategy behind it, though. You know what I'm saying? So there has to be strategy with everything. And this is a bonus. Don't settle for the success. It's okay to pat yourself on the back. Okay, this, I sold more than what I thought and all that, but don't settle for that. There's always more that you can do. There's always more than you can achieve. One could chase 1,000, but 2 could chase 10,000. Get a street team. You may not have the money to pay people. You may not have the money to pay Yolanda or myself, but get some people that can help you do it. Some people, hey, I need 5 of my friends. If I'm dropping a t-shirt Friday at 10. Can y'all all post it? I'll give you the caption. I want you to post that 1. I want you to post that 2. I want you to post that 5. I want you to post that 4. And then also text them. Ask them, share my post. A lot of times I made a post and nobody shared it. Well, we're in a day and time that you just need to ask people. Don't get mad until you ask them and they don't do it. So ask, hey, I'll text in a minute. Hey, y'all, I'm posting a flyer tonight. Can y'all all go share it? Go share it. Go share it. Go share it. Just come out and ask for it,
Don't be afraid to ask for help.
Don't be afraid to ask.
Don't be afraid to ask for help. Because sometimes
use your favors.
And I say this to other creators sometimes because we're in it. We forget that we're still a part of it, if that makes sense, right? So you still need business. So I'll use it myself. Marquis, and he said, "We still working?" I said, "Yes." He said, "Okay, you need to beef up your game.
Come on.
And you know what? I ain't mad. I said, yes,
Come
sir.
on.
What do we need to do? He said, you need a new flyer for yourself. I said, yes, sir. Because the truth is, number 1, people do not have to be nice to you. Number 2, people cannot support what they don't know about.
That's
I don't care who you are.
That's it.
We don't know anything about Kim Kardashian's
then
kids until she tell us about it. Okay, that's just the truth. So people don't know unless you tell us. That's just period. I don't care if it's a church. I keep saying this, y'all. It is not 1965.
That's right.
It's not 2001. Okay, Because your church is sitting on the corner does not suggest people are going to walk in.
Doesn't.
It's a
It
new
doesn't.
day. So you have to tell people that you're here. I've seen several posts about artists. And they say, I didn't even know they were alive. You know why? Because they're not talking. I love Shirley Caesar for so many reasons. And I love her because she's always talking. She's always doing something. She's always moving. I saw her on the Sherry Shepherd show. With shout out to Jacqueline. Love the album that Jacqueline did with them. And she on there, she looked so amazing. But
and
she's
the
not
thing,
afraid.
That's it. And the thing about those artists is, well, so many different things, but they have relevance in each decade that they've been a part of.
Oh, that's so good.
So where, people always talk about Shirley Caesar or the Clark sisters or the Winans or Marvin Sapp, Fred Kirk Franklin, Yolanda asks, give other people a chance, give other people a job, give other people a chance. No, they've made relevance in the 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s, and they're constantly reinventing themselves. And a lot of our artists will put out music, but then we hide. And so when you hide, because of how the market is now, any break that you take, when you come back, you have to reintroduce yourself. You don't get it. Not like it's not that they miss you like it used to be. Yolanda Adams didn't come out for 10 years. We miss her. Oh, I can't wait. Oh, she's finally back. Us, they don't know who you are. They forgot you. They don't miss you. Somebody else and took your place. So you have to be consistent. You have to be strategic. Even when I tell people with social media, if you're going to take a 30-day break, because of advanced settings and things like that, or other artists or other avenues that you can have people post for you, your stuff can still be seen with you not even having to post and you be on your break. But you can continue to have posts going and you can continue to have your project being posted or your t-shirt, even though you're on your break from social media. It's a way to do it. It's a science. It's as you said, the two words for tonight, it's a rollout. It's, you being strategic with it.
Oh, this is good. I want to ask you this one more thought, right? Something you said I want you to go back to, because I always hear people say they doing too much. Won't they stop working? They doing too much. I've heard about the Clark sisters, which I think is crazy, several times. Oh, they need to go sit down somewhere and sit down. And I think about this. My dad is in his 70s. I'm thinking, we always tell him, like, you should retire, right? But sometimes I wonder, if you've been doing this since you were a child, it might be a little devastating to your spirit, as they say, or to your soul.
You love what you do.
You love what you do, right?
And the thing about it is,
why do you want them to sit down so bad? Like, why?
And the thing about
you're not
it is,
making room for us. Go ahead.
Absolutely. And the thing is, with them, with that generation, I'm not going to say that this generation, we don't have it, but to them, it's really ministry. I've been around a lot of these artists, such as the Clark sisters and Fred Hammond, John P. Key, whatever. Vanessa Bell Armstrong, they really feel like if they say no, it's not about the people. I'm letting God down. God gave me this gift.
Good.
I'm here to minister. I'm here to win souls. This is my a soul matter. Someone is depending on this music. So for them, it's not even about, I get to be on TV. This is a soul matter. This is, God, you called me to do this. This is ministry. I'm going, as long as you've given me the gift, I'm going to do this. You know what I'm saying? So it's a whole different outlet and a whole different outlook for them than it is for our generation.
This is a soul matter. But I would say this.
It's a soul matter.
This is just how I really feel in real life. Number one, I get emotional when I see these people because I'm like, God, let me be singing.
Come on.
87 years old.
87 years old.
And I think, God, let me, please, I always say this all the time. I'm going to be singing till I'm 100. Let me still be singing at 87. Let me be healing the people, however old Karen is today. These people 65. Are not 65? And the lady annihilated us on
They
New
constantly reinvent themselves.
Absolutely.
But that also goes to, I don't want to put about holy living and just being genuine and your spirit. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
and
good.
God just really preserving you. You know what I'm saying? Because you've given your life to him and you weren't in it for the accolades. You weren't in it for the money, but you were really genuine with it. that's just God just covering them and preserving them.
Now that is good
Mm-hmm.
right there. God
Mm-hmm.
is
Mm-hmm.
preserving.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I received that for myself. I'm serious. Because that's we didn't go.
Mm-hmm.
That's a whole word. Like,
Mm-hmm.
because when you think about it, I say this all the time about the Kingdom Tour.
Mm-hmm.
Although I think it was amazing. I
Mm-hmm.
really, and you can attest this because you work with the Clark family, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think people thought the Clark sisters were going to clean us out like that.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And so
Mm-hmm.
every city for a whole, however long the tour went on, a couple months, every night they were, it was like, no way. I would watch
Every
reels.
single
I
night.
would say I went for myself. I said, now this is no shade to anybody else who was on the tour. Everybody was amazing. But when I said, now the Clark sisters have wiped us out, and then they paused and they went to AIM and they wiped out AIM. Then they came back. I said, this is crazy. These ladies are in their 60s. Miss Jackie's about almost 70.
No, she's almost 80. She just turned 77 in December.
It's very dramatic of me. And didn't she just release music?
Just came out with a single Friday.
That's what I'm saying. This is the whole point. If you cannot gather from that, that number one, it's not about age. It's really all about your mind. Shout out to my one of my bishops, right? Pastor I worked for, Bishop Quasi Smith, and when he had this church in Denver and the church was first started, he said it don't matter the size of the church. It matters about your mentality. So to me, the mentality of a 65-year-old Karen that runs around in circles singing a 20-year-old song for every mountain, singing it like it's brand new.
Or even singing Hallelujah that came out in 1978, over 40 years ago, like it just came out today.
Just
you know what I'm
today. This
saying?
is crazy.
See, and that right there, that's about that's something that you don't get from branding. That's the anointing. That's a price that you pay. That is something that a live can't teach you, a class can't teach you. That is real dedication, consecration. That's suffering. That is a heart after God. That is putting time through prayer and fasting. You know what I'm saying? That's something that no matter what we talk about in here, that just you can't you can't just give that from a class. You can't say, okay, you do this, you do that. That's a real lifestyle. That's a real testimony, you know?
Wow. You've given me a whole nother level of appreciation for the Clark family because I just don't think people understand. So even, like my favorite girl, Vanessa, and I'm like, this lady is like, how do you sing like this? I asked her, I said, Miss Vanessa, how did you come into sing like this? She said, girl, I don't know. It just happened. I was singing like this when I was a little girl.
And there's such a difference. No shade to any other younger artists, but we talking about the older artists. I remember a few years ago, and I think about this story. This was before the pandemic. Auntie Vanessa was somewhere. I don't know if she came to me or I was with her somewhere. We went to go get her from the airport. As soon as she got in the car, just under her breath, thank you, Jesus. Lord, I thank you. Thank you, Jesus. And that don't seem like much, but that's something that just showed the longevity of her relationship with God. That you don't see with, a lot of maybe perhaps the younger ones and things like that, maybe myself. But it was just a whole nother atmosphere change. So she got in there. It's not that she doesn't laugh or kiki, but it was just Lord, I thank you for safe travels. Lord, I thank you. Lord, I thank you that you're going to use me tonight. Just that right there. And I was like, wow, that's history. That's really history with God,
Oh, that's good. You should
Yes.
probably write that down. What kind of history do you have with God?
Right.
Okay, now, okay, we just had church yesterday. Okay.
Yeah.
Ooh, that man. Yeah, because I think it shows. Right. This is why we think Jesus and CC Winans are, that she sits at his feet every day. Because it shows.
It shows. That's
It
for
shows.
sure.
You can't hide it. You can't
It's
help
gonna
it.
come
There's
out.
nothing
It's
you
gonna
can
come out.
do. I remember I saw her in concert, shout out to Larry Crawford, and she was in Memphis. And I'm telling you, Marquis, that lady got on stage. I'm not even a CCM girl. There's no shade. When every time I've seen her in concert, number one, it's completely flawless. Like every single time over the years, from way back in the 90s to present, it's just flawless. She got up at that concert in Memphis and everybody has sung, and then she said, "Oh, let's just. Everyone has been so wonderful." Well, I tell you, there was some kind of angel spirit that came over the room, and I said, "This is
Wow.
unreal."
Wow.
I said, "This is the mother worship. This
Mhm.
is unreal."
Mhm.
And she said,
Mhm.
let's just worship." I said,
Mhm.
but to your point, oh, you're gonna make
Mhm.
me start crying. To your point, that is
Mhm.
history with God.
Absolutely.
You
Absolutely,
cannot,
for
I don't
sure.
care what you do. I've been places, I'll tell the story. I was having a moment and I
Mhm.
was in a very difficult situation and I found that someone had done something to me and I was
Mhm.
very hurt. And
Mhm.
I told the Lord, I said, I just want my one moment. I just want to let them have it. This is the real truth. I
Mhm.
was sitting in the restaurant. I had planned on my words. I said, I'm gonna
Mhm.
go to the
Mhm.
restroom. I'm gonna go to the restroom.
Mhm.
I came back from the restroom. I got ready to sit down at the table, and I
Mhm.
was about to, whoo, and I
Mhm.
never go off.
Mhm.
As I was walking back to the table, a gentleman stopped me, and he said, "Hi, I don't mean to interfere." He
Mhm.
said, I heard you say something about singing or
Mhm.
Bible Christian. Are you a Christian?"
Mhm.
I said, "Yes." He said, "Oh, it's just something that glows from you." I said,
Mm.
"Dogging,
Mm.
huh?
Mm.
Dang."
Mhm.
He said,
Mhm. Mhm.
you just have this glow on you. Are you? I mean,
Mhm.
you're a believer, right?" And I said, "Yes, sir."
Mhm.
He said, "Oh, it's such a beautiful thing." And in my mind, I said,
Mhm.
"I
Mhm.
can't do nothing." But it is
Mhm.
history with God.
For
That's
sure.
my
For
new thing. I'm
sure.
still
For
in that mood.
sure.
It is history with
For
God.
sure. For
And so
sure.
that's why when you don't we don't always like it, you know what I'm saying? We don't
Mhm.
always
Mhm.
understand it. And what does this
Mhm.
have to do with promotion? When you like something, you will talk
Mhm.
about it.
Mm.
I love God.
Mhm.
Yes, I
Mhm.
do, Erica Campbell.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
because I like him, I talk about him. I can't help
That's
it.
it.
I
That's it.
I try to have
Mhm.
very, political, yes, yes, but I can't help
Mhm.
it. It is
That's
what
it.
it
That's who
is.
I am.
So
That's
I feel
it.
like it's the
Mhm.
same way about your music. It's the same way about your
Mhm.
book. You tell me this is
Mhm.
what you do every day.
Mhm.
It's the same way about your music, your book, your product.
Mhm.
When you like it, thank you, Holy Ghost. Maybe you
Mhm.
don't like it as much as you say you like it.
Mhm. That's
Because
true.
if you really liked
Mhm.
it, and I'm saying this to myself too, you would
Mhm.
talk about it. You wouldn't
That's
care if
it.
you got on anybody's nerves.
Mhm. Mhm.
Shout out to B Slade. He's always
Mhm.
talking about his music.
For sure. Yeah, that is true.
He
That is
always
true.
reinvents himself. He's always showing something different. He's not afraid. It is what it is. So that being said, as you're up in the first, thank you for being here. I love
Thank
you
you for
so
having me.
much.
I
Absolutely, you're
appreciate it.
incredible. You're
Thank
incredible.
you,
Such a
love.
genuine, such a wonderful, genuine person. So first,
Thank you.
tell people before I ask one last question. Tell people how they can connect with you.
You can connect with me at Marquis Jelks _ church stuff on Instagram, or the Marquis Jelks show on Instagram, or Marquis Jelks church stuff on Facebook.
On Facebook. And
Yes.
then lastly, why should someone use there are so many different avenues, right? And
Mm-hmm.
although, as you know, publicly I support a couple of
Mm-hmm.
different
Mm-hmm.
avenues, right? Because this is what I learned too. First I was like, I'm sold out to Marquis.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody else.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But then I
Mm-hmm.
recognize I'm a business, and so
Mm-hmm.
ABC.
Mm-hmm.
When Marvel gets prepared to do movies, they just
Mm-hmm.
don't go with ABC, right? They go to ABC, they go to CBS, they go to this network, and it doesn't mean that they don't love ABC. It just means that they understand that the target audience they're trying to reach is beyond ABC. So they use multiple
Absolutely.
markets, right? It doesn't mean I don't
And
like
you
them.
want to get as many people as you can. You want
Absolutely.
to get as many people. When you're looking at marketing, I'm gonna want, when I have my conference, I want this page to push it. I want that person to work on it. I even go to a couple of different graphic designers. Why? Because I know each of them gonna post it on their page. And
We are.
then also, I don't know if this go with promo. This could kind of go under the sense of kind of when you're doing things that you can use, not necessarily promo, but just, we talked about at the beginning, just working with different people and connections and things like that. I know that in the career of graphics or social media or whatever, it's a good look to work with or do certain people. So
Yeah.
the fact
Yeah.
that they have certain people on those flyers and stuff like that. So I want to share that opportunity with different people,
Oh,
so
that's
they can
good.
put in their portfolio,
That's
and that's
good.
just a way of us looking out for each other. But back to the main meat of your question is you just want, I want, Tavares may not have with what Alicia has. So I want to get it out there to everybody. So I'm going to use multiple people, and maybe I may not use Alicia for this. That doesn't mean that I hate her. That doesn't mean that, if Yolanda doesn't use Marquis for this, maybe she gonna use me for that. That's like, people when they I see so many memes about hairstylists that get offended or barbers, they say when you cheat on them. And I'm like, I never thought of it like that. I go to whoever available. If you can't cut my hair today, then that don't mean I hate you. Or maybe this person does good with a beard and this person, for the look I was looking for, they don't. But I know they do good for this. You know what I'm saying? So it's just
Absolutely.
about what you're using people, maybe what they're skilled or what they're better with, and just using everybody.
Using, yeah, yeah, yeah. I go to Marquise, I go to Gabe, I go to this person
That's
because
it.
it's not
That's
all in,
it.
everybody's not all in one place. But I do want you to share these last few
Absolutely.
thoughts. Why should people use church stuff? Why should people use Marquise jokes?
Exactly. I'll just say this. Just go to my page and I'll see you the testimonials.
Yep, yep,
Go,
yep.
just go. I just go to my page and then go to the top and you'll see the testimonials.
The testimonies are real. Yep, yep. You've done
You
work
know
for
what? And
everybody.
that's a great way to promote yourself. That is one thing I've been telling a lot of people to really get into word of mouth. Just now, will everybody say the same thing about you? No, there's probably some people that say I was terrible to work with, and perhaps at that time they could be right. But for the most part, I believe that across the board that people have a positive experience with me.
Yeah, you're a really nice guy.
I
It makes
appreciate
it
that.
makes it makes all of the. You're a nice
I
guy. You're
appreciate
workable.
that.
You're kind. You are. Sometimes you just text me, "Hey Yolanda, I didn't want nothing. I'm just saying how you doing." And people don't think they think that's
That
small.
matters. That
It
matters.
you have no
That
idea the person is
matters.
experiencing, and it makes
That matters.
all the difference in the world. When because a lot
Especially
of
when you
times,
always need something. So
absolutely,
if anybody is watching, because Yolanda and I both are music people, you all know that I'm a minister of music. And that's one thing I tell my other minister of musics and directors and stuff. Since we're always needing our choir members and praise team members and musicians, we're always, did you learn this? Did rehearsals this? It's very important to just once a month, hey, I don't want anything. How are you doing? How are you the person doing? I don't need you to learn the music today. I don't need this. How are you as a person
yeah,
doing? And that really matters to people.
yeah, because people are giving their gifts and talents of their time. It's
And
okay.
volunteer.
I don't want to because this could be a
Mm-hmm.
whole nother lot. But the truth is, church is not like it used to be when we were kids.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why it feels different. It just
Mm-hmm.
does. But
Mm-hmm.
people are giving their now we're adults, and so people are giving
Mm-hmm.
their time and their talent
Mm-hmm.
voluntarily. They, in truth,
Voluntarily. Mm-hmm.
respectfully, they don't have to be here.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
how you treat them matters. I'm just say for myself, does it make a difference if you just send Yolanda and text her, "Hey, y'all, you good? I don't want
Mm-hmm.
nothing." Yes, it does because I'm
But we're
experiencing
so
life.
triggered by that we don't even expect it. Because I found myself with a few people that would be like, "Hey, just checking on you." I'm like, "Oh Lord, wouldn't it happen?"
Oh yeah,
Or like, did something
absolutely,
happen that didn't get back to me yet? You know what I'm saying? You get
absolutely,
triggered by that because you're so not used to it.
because
But
you're
we
not
have to
used to it.
normalize us really being, and it doesn't take you having to pick up the phone and talk for 30 minutes. I'm not a phone person at all, really. I am a texter, voice noter. But a 3 second text goes a long way when it's genuine. Hey, I'm just checking on you, or hey, I love you. I just want you to know I thought about you today, or I prayed for you. I was thinking about you. Things like that. That matters.
It matters. It makes all the difference in the world when people feel wanted, not in a
Wanted.
romantic way, but
Mm-hmm.
usually when people call my phone, not everybody, but most people
Mm-hmm.
it may be like, "Hi Yolanda, how you doing? I'm fine." Okay, so I
Mm-hmm.
need a flyer.
Mm-hmm. 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 Mm-hmm.
Okay, tell me what you need. It's
Right,
not like,
right,
Yolanda, are you doing okay? I saw you lost
right.
weight, which is a real thing.
Mm-hmm.
Or I saw
Mm-hmm.
that
Mm-hmm.
you okay? Are you still
Right.
are you singing? Are you good?
Mm-hmm.
How's your
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
voice?
Right. Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
Absolutely.
man, it was just
Mm-hmm.
January, so that means, we're
Mm-hmm.
celebrating the anniversary of
Mm-hmm.
Kevin's passing. So that all
Mm-hmm.
these things can be triggering, right? And
Mm-hmm.
so yes,
Mm-hmm.
I think that's important. Okay, so my
For
last
sure.
question is: we talked about promotion and why it's important, and people can see this, they can leave this, and they can do what some
Mm-hmm.
do, and they can say,
Mm-hmm.
"Okay, I saw that," but they're lost
Mm-hmm.
in the sauce. They don't.
Mm-hmm.
They have the
Mm-hmm.
flyer, they
Mm-hmm.
have the promo, they pay for it, but they just
Mm-hmm.
don't know what to do.
Mm-hmm.
Give us 2 things that people can do tomorrow.
As it pertains to promoting themselves.
Yeah, like just to promote themselves. Um,
Okay.
yeah.
2 things that they can do tomorrow. I would say, 2 easy things. Make a post. Even if you've already posted it, make a post. And in addition to that, post on all of your platforms. So Instagram,
Mhm,
Facebook, your
mhm.
feeds, and your stories. I always say use everything that social media has to offer. So post on your feeds and your stories, even if it's just the same thing. Put it on Facebook and Instagram. If you use TikTok, if you use Threads, whatever, but at least Facebook and Instagram on your feeds and your stories. That's number one. Number two, ask someone else to post it as well, whether it be your friend, your brother, your sister, your daughter, your son, whomever. Say, hey, can you make this post for me? That's number two. And number three, ask a few people to share it. And when I say ask to share it, don't just post it on the caption, please share, because a lot of times they're not gonna share it. But reach out to people directly. Hey, Yolanda, hey Marquise, I just made a post on Facebook. Can you share it? You know,
I like that.
and you will
Great
be
contact.
surprised. Just 5 people that will share it, one person that will repost it, and then you repost it on all of your social media outlets, on your Facebook, your Instagram, on your feeds, and your stories. Those are 3 things that you can do tomorrow. That's definitely something that you probably didn't even think about doing. So whether it be your music, it be your event, your vision board party, your hoodies, your merch, your live next Friday that you're promoting, your music, whatever, those same things will work for that. No matter if it's food, if it's church, if it's secular, if it's gospel. It's all the same rules across the board.
This is amazing. I love this. I love you.
I
And
love you too.
people should follow you. So we have your handle here. It is Marquis Jelks
Jelks underscore church stuff.
for church stuff. And you should follow him. And you still do the praise breaks, right? You still
Yes. I
church content.
still promote. I still whatever. Anything you got a flyer for your conference, you DM me. I'll give you the information about how to get it pushed. You have a project that came out. If you're maybe you're a pastor, you want promo for your pastor, all of that. You DM me, and it's a great outlet to there. I love when people come to me and say, hey, I got booked because such and such saw me on your
Oh, yes.
page, or I got signed to this label, or I got hired, or I got asked to speak at this convention because they saw me on your page. So it definitely works. You just got to be consistent. You just got to step out there and do it. So
And it's
yes,
not just
DM me.
church, right? It's not just church.
Not just church, not just church. It could be maybe you are a chef. One of my clients who I brag about all the time, Danny Love. She was one of my first. She was in the class with Dr. Valerie Moore. She's in LA now. She's getting ready to launch a show on Food Network. But yeah, it could be
Nice.
food. It could be socks. It could be deodorant. It could be whatever. It doesn't matter. Whatever doesn't matter.
This is great. So thank you so much, Marquise, for hanging out with
Thank you
me.
for having me.
I've
Thank
been
you.
working on something that I'm gonna tag you to hopefully by tomorrow. So
Okay,
here's what
awesome.
happens for me as a creative, and I'm sure for you, I'm saying this publicly because he can hold me to it. About a year or so ago, I noticed I knew I said this happens every year. Somebody calls me the day before. I've been called hours before Easter service,
Mm-hmm.
resurrection service, saying I need an
Mm-hmm.
Easter fly, but we already knew he got up 3 days ago. I mean, why did you
Uh-huh.
call me?
Uh-huh.
And so I put together this list, right? And it was like every holiday. So I'm releasing the list again. And so I'm gonna I'm saying this because he can hold me to getting it out. But I wanted to get everything on the calendar, everything that's going on. So people say, I didn't know that Easter, because Easter always changes. I didn't know that Easter was on this day. I didn't know Christmas was on this day. It's always on the 25th. I didn't know whatever you didn't know. So I've done deep research. I have researched all kind of events from all over the country, church events, car events, all kind of things, because I want you to go outside and enjoy the world, right? So we're gonna get that posted, and it's
for sure. That's awesome.
Yeah, and my encouragement is because I want people to plan in advance. And so you can plan around these holidays, right? You can, if you know that Easter's coming, then how do you plan for that in advance? So this is my encouragement: plan in advance. All right. So thank you so much for hanging out with us, Marquis.
Yes, thank you for having me, my dear.
Shout out to Freedom Radio. Thank you for this space.
Yes, Freedom Radio. Yes, thank you.
Yes. And until then, peace out. See y'all later.
All right, talk to you later.
Bye. All right, y'all. So we just had a wonderful conversation with Marquis Jelks, one of my really great close friends. And I'm super excited because it was a great conversation. So listen, if you're watching this today, tomorrow, next week, you can go back, you can rewind it. Again, I do encourage that, number one, you follow Freedom. I'm going to type it right here. All right. So if you see it, Freedom, it's really dim. Freedom Radio. We'll be back on Wednesday for Shop Talk Freedom Radio. All right. So shout out to that. We love Freedom Radio. Shout out to Demetrius Toll Free. We love Freedom Radio. That's number one. Number two, shout out to Instagram. Y'all were hanging out with me tonight. I really appreciate it. We try to make sure we go live on both platforms. And so that's the part. Here's the last part I want to give to you is we're going to start having more conversations. I really encourage that you go check out Pastor T.D. Jakes' next chapter. And as he was talking, he gave me an idea. So I want to have more in-depth conversations. And as Marquis said, you share. So share this with a friend. I'm going to hit some people and I say how I went live. And guess what? I'm up for another award. So vote for me. I'll share it. All right. See y'all. Bye-bye.